What's up, everyone? In this video, we're going to be covering the craziest stock so far today. VERU is up 180% today. It had crazy news related to COVID. So far today, there was around 250 million shares traded. To put that into perspective, there's normally around only 500,000 shares traded per day with this stock. So it's going crazy. On Friday, this stock closed at $4.35, and right now it's over 12. And just like a couple hours ago, it was at $14.57. So the stock's going crazy. Let's get right into it. So we can see by looking at the headline, VERU's novel COVID-19 drug candidate reduces deaths by 55% in hospitalized patients in interim analysis of phase 3 study. Basically, it appears that their drug is very useful for those who have been hospitalized with the COVID-19 virus. So that is awesome news for the company. We can also see that the company is set to meet with the FDA to seek emergency use authorization. So that's awesome. But here's the thing. The stock is up 180%. Yes, it has a ton of hype with it. A lot of people are talking about it, and it is great news. But let's look more at this company to see if they're actually worth investing into. So we can see just by looking at their revenue over the years, it's been all over the place. We can see in 2012, they had an annual revenue of $35 million. And then their revenue was basically flat until like 2015. And then in 2017, they had a revenue of $13.6 million. So that dropped off significantly. And then in 2021, they had an annual revenue of $61 million. So it's like their revenue has been all over the place over the past like 10 years or so. Their revenue's been all over the place. Their profit has been all over the place. And it's just like very inconsistent. Let's go to their net income over like the past 10 years. In 2012, they had a net income of $15.3 million. In 2017, they lost $6.6 million. In 2018, they lost $24 million. And then in 2021, they made $7.4 million. So it's like, it's so inconsistent. And it appears that this news can be a game changer for this company. You know, if their drug is actually very helpful to those who've been hospitalized with COVID-19 and it can really reduce deaths, that can be a game changer for this company. And that's why the stock is blasting up, obviously, and that's why there's so much volume. But looking at the stock, I will say this. While it does have a lot of volume, a lot of momentum, and a lot of hype, be careful not to kind of fall into the trap. There have been many times where we see biotech companies like this shoot up 200%, 500%, or 1,000% and give it all back. Like I said, it really depends on how useful this drug actually is. If it is a good quality product, you can say, it can be a game changer for the company. But looking more at the stock's chart, we can see that it's a volatile stock. If we look more specifically in like the end of 2020, this stock went from like $3.30 all the way up to $24.57. It was like a month-long uptrend, or actually a couple months long. So like, it's a volatile mover. Right now the stock's up 185%. To give you guys some resistance levels to watch out for, there's a lot of resistance right around $14.57. If I zoom out a little bit more, there's definitely more resistance right around $16. It's a very important level. Keep that one on your watch list. There's also more resistance right around 18 and even like 22. So keep that on your watch list too, or your radar, we can say. Their all-time high is $24.57. At this point, there's a ton of hype with it. Of course, no one knows the top, but I will say this. Most setups that are like this, yes, they have a couple of green days, and you know this stock can go up to $20 over the next couple of days. But is it worth the risk? That's the question you have to ask yourself. For me, I look at it like, the stock's up 185 or 190% today. Do I really want to be buying in at this point? For me, I'm not going to, but that doesn't mean it's a bad idea. This is game-changing news right here, but what I prefer to do is I'll wait until the stock is very overextended. Like, let's say the stock goes up to $20 or $22 or maybe even like $26. I'll just sell far out of the money call credit spreads and profit like that. So the way I'm looking at this stock right now is it's going to be a waiting game. I hope that the stock continues to blast up, and then I'll just sell very far out of the money credit spreads and profit like that. But if you want to get in and play the stock to the upside, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you understand the risks. Like, don't buy into this stock thinking that it's going to triple guaranteed. Like, there's definitely a lot of risk, especially with these biotech companies. Now, I also want to demonstrate this really quickly. VERU is up 190%. While that's a lot, we've seen biotech companies move up a lot more than that in the past. But I also want to demonstrate the options chain. So check this out. VERU's options are up around 10,000% today. So if you did want to play VERU to the upside, shares would be your best bet, because let's say we look at this week's expiration, and let's say you looked at like the $17.50 call options, you're going to have to pay around $100 for those. So your break even won't even be until $18.50. So long story short, if you want to play this one to the upside, I would not get greedy playing out of the money call options on this one. It's not worth the risk in my opinion. But if you, like I said, if you wanted to play it to the upside, you can do shares. Like, it's still risky, but it's at least a smarter move to play the stock itself rather than the stock's options because of the pricing. But overall, this is crazy news. The stock's blasting up. It has a history of moving in a parabolic way, so keep that in mind. Another thing that's pretty interesting is I saw that, according to FinViz, the short float is only 5.4%. So it doesn't appear that we're seeing too much of a short squeeze right here. It's mainly just like buyers just like jumping in at a crazy pace. It is kind of a gamble type play. These biotech setups almost always are. And I also want to demonstrate the fundamentals really quickly again. They're not the best. We can see that their net profit margin is minus 26%. And the main thing is, like, their revenue has been all over the place. Like, it'd be different if their revenue has been moving in a consistent manner and they had a negative net profit margin. That'd be okay. But it's like the revenue's all over the place. Like, how do you go from 35 million in revenue down to 13 million in revenue up to 61 million in revenue? Like, is next year's revenue going to be 100 million or is it going to be 10 million? It's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's very unpredictable. And what also worries me a little bit is the weighted shares outstanding. Like, this is terrible. Like, that's very, very scary. Basically, we could see this chart right here, the weighted shares outstanding. What this basically shows you is the total shares outstanding for the most part, but the higher this goes, normally the lower the stock price goes. So that's not good. Like, the more shares that are out there, it's not a good sign. Like, let me show you like Apple for a good comparison. We can see how their weighted shares outstanding consistently goes lower because Apple is buying back their shares, and that helps make the stock price go up. But when you're issuing shares like that, normally it's not a good thing, and it has a pretty negative effect on the shareholders in this company. The fundamentals aren't the best, but then again, if this drug is the real deal, that can easily change the fundamentals, kind of what happened to Moderna. Like, let's check out Moderna really quickly. We can see, like, oh my gosh. So we can see, like, here, let me go to the statements for a better visualization. So let's say we go to the income statement. We can see, like perfect example. In 2016, Moderna, revenue, 108 million. 2017, revenue of 205 million. 2018, revenue of 135 million. 2019, their revenue went all the way down to 60 million. And then in 2021, their revenue went to 18.5 billion. Let me say that again. In 2019, they had an annual revenue of 60 million. In 2021, they had an annual revenue of 18.5 billion. That goes to show you how volatile not only the stock of these biotechnology companies are, but also their revenue. But then again, Moderna is a different breed. Like, Moderna had some crazy things happen that resulted in revenue increases like this. But it goes to show you that if VERU's drug is the real deal, it can change the company stock, but also just the company fundamentally, which can be great. But that's like the multi-billion-dollar question. Is the drug really that great? So keep that in mind. But either way, this stock is going crazy. Let me know what you guys think about this one. It's a gamble in my opinion right now. I personally hope it blasts up so it gets very overbought, and then I'll take advantage of the overpriced options, and it should be pretty good. So I'm hoping it goes up. I would love for it to go up to like $24. That would be awesome. In like a very quick way. That'd be awesome for like credit spreads and stuff like that. Last but not least, if you want to analyze any company like I analyzed VERU today and Moderna, check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. The stock analysis dashboard is awesome. There's basically no other software out there like it that allows you to see the most important fundamental data in an easy to visualize way. It's very interactive. You can basically customize it however you want. You can see the fundamental data in a very easy to see way. Like I said, we ran through VERU's fundamentals pretty quickly, and same with Moderna, and we could see exactly what information we need to see to make great investing decisions. You can also compare stocks against each other, which is awesome. Let's say we did VERU and Moderna. We can see their correlations, how they move with each other, how they move against each other, their simple moving averages, a bunch of stuff like that. We can also calculate our own price targets. It's an awesome tool. Definitely check it out. It's going to be that first link in the description and the comments down below. Besides that, thank you guys so much for watching.